Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how this color challenge from My Favorite Things inspired me to make a super cute and simple winter card. So I'm a guest designer last month and this month for My Favorite Things for their challenges, their sketch and color challenges. And I love a color challenge. I've been doing the My Favorite Things color challenges off and on for a few years. So I was honored to be asked to guest design for these because I truly love having this for inspiration. There are definitely times when I have no idea where to start, but I'm in the mood to make a card. And so, sometimes this just helps me get the ball rolling. So the colors for this challenge were 3 different blues and this craft. And the nice thing about the new My Favorite Things paper pads is that they tell you exactly what colors from their like paper, ink, and color line are in that pad right on the back. So I went through my stash. I grabbed a couple different papers to use, and you could see I had the darker blue, that Beyond Blue, and then the cornflower. But I was worried because I wanted to do an ombre with my ink. So instead of using the darkest color and then trying to make an ombre with a light and medium, I decided to use the medium color, that cornflower blue, as my pattern paper so that my ombre can be my lightest blue to my darkest blue. So that's how I selected those. So I'm starting out by taking a piece of craft cardstock, and that's just a regular A2 sized base. And then I die cut that cornflower blue from the Pop and Polka Dots paper pad with one of the Stacks stitched rectangle dies. And I also cut a piece of heavyweight white cardstock with the next size smaller of that same stitched rectangle die. And now you can see I'm pulling out my ink. So I have that Blue Yonder, which is the lightest blue in this trio, and the Blue Beyond, which is the darkest. And I also grabbed Craft and a little bit of milk chocolate. That's going to help us kind of create a grounding spot for our character. When I saw these colors, they definitely still read as winter to me. But the amount of, or like the addition of the craft made me think critter immediately, like animal. So that's what that combination of winter animals is what inspired me to grab the Merry Moose stamp set. Also, I've only gotten to use one of these moose characters so far, and I love the little guy that's down on the bottom left corner there with the ornaments on his hands. He's so stinking cute. So I grabbed that set, and then I knew that I wanted to make a fun background. So like I said, I had my 2 inks. I went in with the I feel so scattered right now. I laid down the watercolor rectangle stencil. And I just love that this gives kind of an organic edge to this. And you could see that at first I only taped it at the top and it was moving around like crazy. So that was a bad decision. I added extra tape, and then I went in with the lightest shade, that Blue Yonder at the top. And then I went in with a ton of the Blue Beyond at the bottom. I used my stamps, my sentiment, and my moose as placeholders so I could figure out where I wanted to add my grounding spot. And now you can see I'm just using a Post-it all the way across, and I am laying down that craft. It was having a hard time showing up, so I did add a little bit extra of that milk chocolate. But once everything comes together, you really can't tell that there's a different color there. And it's still like an inspired by those colors challenges. You don't have to have any of these products or like any My Favorite Things specific colors to do these challenges. I will leave a link to the challenge blog down below. If you want to enter, you can enter for a chance to win a $50 gift card. This specific challenge is open until December 6th. They also have weekly sketch challenges. The color challenges usually go for about 2 weeks at a time. And then there's also a Christmas card challenge right now for like just general open any Christmas card you want, you can post in there, which is pretty cool. So I'm stamping out that little moose, and I love that he has all these ornaments on his arms and the lights in his antlers. And we're going to go in and color him with some Copics. So I'm starting out with my E40 family. I'm going E44, and I'm just laying down the shadow kind of under his arms, on the inside of his legs, the bottom of his little belly on the outside. I'm going to make the inside a lighter color, and then right around his face and his nose. Then I'm going to blend that out with an E43, just kind of pulling that color out. And then the E42, let's give it a second. I'm pretty sure I just left it with E42. Yeah, that's going to be my highlight shade, and I'm just going to fill in the rest of that space. This character is so cute, and it came together so quickly. And then for his belly, I'm adding a little bit of the E42 as my darkest shade, and then I'm going to blend that out with the 41 and the 40. I did want to make his hooves super dark, so I went with still the same family, but E49. And I wanted to emphasize his little kind of like pot belly. I just thought that was so cute. And because I had gone darker for the hooves and his body was so light, I decided to go darker for his antlers as well. I got a little carried away with my dark marker there, and I had to go back in and kind of push that dark ink back out, but that worked out really nicely. So I'm going in with my E49 first, and then now blending that out with E47 as my medium shade, and then that same E44, which is our darkest color before, is now our highlight. And I really love how this blend all works together, and kind of staying in that same family really helps to make it look super cohesive. I was trying to find some blues that would match close to these inks. So I pulled out my Sandy Allnock hex chart, an absolute lifesaver for me when I am Copic coloring. And I'm going to go in with some B30s. So I'm starting out with my B39. I'm doing every other ornament with this darker blue, and then we'll do a lighter blue on the other one. So 39 to 37 are my darker, to 23. And then on my lighter ones, I did 37, 23, and 00 for the Bs, just to give it a little bit of interest and a little bit of extra fun. And then I decided to stick with blues for the lights in his antlers as well. So I'm going in with B91 and adding a little bit of a halo around each of those lights. It's definitely really soft, but I think that it's super fun. And because I'm going to be fussy cutting these out, I can make sure that those halos stay intact and noticeable. I went back in with a little bit of that same B23 just to deepen up that color. And then I added just a tiny little shadow, like flick curved mark for each light bulb with that 37. Filled that in just a tiny bit more with that 23 again. And went in with my gel pen, my white gel pen, to add some highlight to the eyes. And I just thought this was so cute. So I don't have the coordinating dies for this set. So I just, like I said, I fussy cut it out, and I just kind of took my time. I didn't get too crazy trying to get in between the lights or the ornaments too much. Obviously I got distracted, and I went in with my white gel pen and added some highlight to the ornaments. I also felt like his eye highlights got a little carried away from, like, I got carried away with making those highlights, and so I added a tiny bit of black back into his eyes, into his pupils. Obviously you can do whatever kind of cute face and character you want, but the white was just a little overpowering. He looked a little shocked to me. So I put him back in place just to make sure my sentiment was lined up where I wanted it. And I am going to heat emboss a white sentiment onto this dark blue background. So I prepped my paper, my cardstock, with the Pink and Main Anti-Static Powder Tool. I went in with some Simon Says Stamp white ink, and then I also went in with some clear embossing ink. The white ink just helps me to make sure that anywhere where the powder might not stick perfectly, that white ink will kind of help fill in those gaps so you get a really smooth and crisp sentiment. And then I melted that powder down, the white, just regular white embossing powder. Melted it with my heat tool, and then I added some liquid glue to the back and got that lined up. And then we will pop the mousse up with some foam tape since everything else on this card was super flat. And that pretty much brings my whole card together. So I just wanted to share, because not everybody knows that challenges like these exist and that they change and swap out colors so frequently. So if you still have holiday or any kind of card making to do, or maybe even your card making is done for the year, like you don't have anything specific you need to create for, that is a time for me when I know I can feel really stuck. So if you're looking for some extra inspiration, definitely check out the My Favorite Things sketch and color challenges, and let the colors kind of lead you somewhere fun, somewhere maybe you wouldn't have gone on your own. But thank you so much for coming to hang out with me. I hope you're feeling super inspired. I just love you guys so much. I will see you soon, and until next time, happy crafting.